your library lesson. We are moving on with our engineering design challenge. Remember last time you asked and imagined and planned. So now we're moving on to the fourth step, and it's a fun one: create. When you're creating today, you'll be able to use what's in your kit, or if you have other materials at home that you want to use, that's certainly fine. We're also going to be doing just a little bit of research before we get started. I'm going to be showing you a really cool video clip seeing an actual rocket that is going to be launched. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. I want to show you a couple of pictures too, and then give you some tips before you start creating. All right, let's get started.
Has pushed through the skies and touched outer space. But how on earth did we actually get off Earth? This episode of Test Tube 101 is brought to you by the United States Air Force. Rockets work on Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So when we launch a rocket into space, we're igniting a rich explosive fuel that in reaction burns up and creates propulsion. That's the lift pushing you up. And we need to use a lot of fuel to get up there. The NASA Space Shuttle uses over 800,000 gallons of liquid propellants to get it into space. Most of that fuel is burned up in the first few minutes as rockets must achieve something called escape velocity. That would be a speed of 25,000 miles per hour or more just to reach outer space. Better get going. Escape velocity is not really about going really fast. Like the name implies, it's all about trying to escape the gravitational pull of Earth. We should actually call this escape the Earth speed. You see, the gravitational pull of Earth becomes less and less powerful the higher into the atmosphere you go. Even when you see those astronauts floating around the space station, they're technically still being affected by Earth's gravity as the space station is being pulled around in orbit. This episode of Test Tube 101 is brought to you by the United States Air Force and the United States Airmen, who go above and beyond to break barriers both professionally and personally every day. Thanks.
Now let's take a look at some of the vocabulary words that we just saw in action in that video. So first off, propulsion. That's the force that moves something forward. Another word is escape velocity. This is the minimum speed that a rocket must have to escape the gravitational field of Earth. And the last word here, rocket booster, a motor used to propel a rocket into space. So let's look at some actual photos here. So here's Mae Jemison, the first African-American woman to travel into space here. And I have a couple other pictures of some rockets here. Isn't that such a neat photo? This one here shows you all the different parts here. So we have the external tank in the back, and then each of those solid rocket boosters on the side, and then the orbiter. Now I want to show you a couple examples here from what you're going to do. So here's the rocket cutout that you received in your kit that you would want to cut out. And here's a look at the back here, just to show you how this one was designed. And a couple of tips I want to mention here just to make sure that your design is successful. So in order to construct your rocket launcher, you're actually going to need to cut a strip of paper just big enough to fit around the outside of the straw. So you're just going to loosely tape the paper around the outside of the straw, not too tight. And here's the key. The top of the rocket launcher must be sealed with tape. And that's going to make that air pressure to build up and launch your rocket. So keep that in mind as you're creating. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at how we're going to be submitting this into Schoology. You're only going to be submitting a photo here, so let's take a look. Here I am in Schoology in the library course heading into the appropriate week and days folders. Just two parts here. The video first, we will learn a little bit more about rocket launchers, and I'll give you some tips on creating, and then submit a photo of your rocket launcher. So you're using either the materials in your kit or any other materials you have at home. If you do not have a kit, I did attach up here the rocket cutout just so you can see what it looks like if you are able to print it. The rest of you should have a printout in your kits. Then take either a photo or video of your creation, click this submissions tab right here, and you should see a blue plus sign right there that you will be able to choose the second option down, insert the photo or video. So no need to send me any pictures of pages in your STEM journal, only just a picture of your creation this time. Okay? I hope you have fun creating. I can't wait to see your rocket launchers.